What's up YouTube, AUTOCON360 here, back again with another review, and today we're going to be doing a similar thing to what we did a few weeks ago when I reviewed the S.H.Figuarts Beerus and Whis. Today we're going to be looking at the Dragon Ball Z S.H.Figuarts Vegeta and Nappa. Now we're doing them together because they came to Earth together. They're meant to be together, especially in this form. So, first off, we're going to take a look at Vegeta's packaging, then we'll look at Nappa's packaging, and then we'll look at their accessories. So here we have Vegeta's packaging, very nice. Window box here, got Vegeta right there. Toei, Dragon Ball Z, Tamashii, Bandai, Funimation. More images on the side. Back of the box, nice images of the figure itself. Vegeta on the side. Top, not much. Bottom, not much. And then here we have Nappa, which of course the package is a bit bigger, because it's a bigger figure. But we do have Nappa on the side there, nice picture of Nappa there. Funimation, Toei, Dragon Ball Z, Bandai, Toei, Tamashii. More images on the side. Back of the box, looking pretty good. Side of the box just says Nappa, not much at the top. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack these boxes open. And here we have Vegeta's instructions. So, shows you how to swap the two heads, how to swap the scouters, the faces, the tails, the hands, and the arms. And of course it does also list everything that comes with them in the packaging, which is quite a bit. So let's take a look at that right now. And here we have all of Vegeta's accessories. So, like I said, it comes with two heads, which we'll take a look at the differences in those right now. So really, focus. So the only difference in the two head sculpts is this little cutout right here on the one on the right. This is so that the scouter will fit around his ear. The other one is for just a regular head. So if you want to use this on your 2.0 Super Vegeta or your Majin Vegeta or your Dragon Ball Super Broly Vegeta or the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegeta 2.0, you can do so. It looks really good on it. That's what I do. I think it looks great. Because I definitely keep this head on this figure. Because I prefer him with this scouter. So let's take a look at the faces. And the first face we're going to look at here is just his regular stern face. Which does look really good. Nice clean paintwork on it. Even around the widow's peak. Then we have my personal favorite face, which is his smirking face. Always a good face for Vegeta. Always one of my favorites for Vegeta as well. And then we have his gritting teeth face. Looks really good. Again, nice clean paintwork all around. And then we have his screaming face with the vein in the side of his forehead. And nice clean paint on the mouth as well. And then in terms of his hands, we get two fists, two Gallic Gun charging hands, two Ki Blast / Gallic Gun firing hands. And then his last hand here is his hand with his crushed scouter in it. Always great to see this. And really nice detail too on that lens for the scouter. It looks really good. It's all cracked. I wish the scouter itself was picked out in some paint, not just white. Maybe a little bit gray in there to kind of break it up. But all in all though, it still looks really good. Now, two hands that I wish he came with were his style pose hands from the Super Vegeta 2.0. But if you have that figure, you do have those hands, and the whites do match up pretty well. This one has a little bit of a brighter white to it, but these hands still work just fine. In terms of the other accessories, he does come with his cross arms, which look really good. These are not the same ones that came with the Super Vegeta, so that's good. And then he comes with two tails. He comes with this one, which is meant to be all out, and he comes with the one for when it's wrapped around his waist. And then finally we have two scouters. We have a plain one, which looks really good, nice clean paintwork on it. And then we also have this one with the reticle on it. It still looks really good. And here we have Nappa's instructions. Shows you all the heads that he comes with, how to swap them, how to take the pegs off, and the different hands he comes with, how to swap those out, as well as how to put together the stand and his energy effects. And of course, it does also show you everything that comes with him in the package. And then here we have all of Nappa's accessories. He comes with 4 heads, 3 sets of hands, and 1 extra right hand. And then he comes with his little energy effect here and the stand to display it on. So let's take a look at that energy effect, and then we'll take a look at everything else. So here we have it here. I don't remember the name of this attack, but he just kind of throws an energy ball. Nice translucent plastic with some like dingy yellow paint. I don't really care for it. I wish it was a much brighter yellow, so it would glow a little bit better. But I do like the translucent clear on the bottom here. Looks really nice. And that just plugs right here into a Tamashii Nations arm, which is included. And then, of course, that just plugs into the stand. Pretty basic stuff. And it looks like he threw it. Cool. I don't really care for this color, which makes me not really care for the accessory itself. So let's move on and take a look at his heads. So the first set we're going to take a look at here is basically the way the instructions describe it as head A. This is what comes on him in packaging. He has this weird, like, kind of pinkish fade going on in certain spots on his heads, like on the cheeks and on the dimples and on his forehead, and kind of along the neckline here. He also has the same shading on his skin, which is okay, I guess. But let's go ahead and take a look at head B. Here we have head B, which is just a screaming face with some veins popping out of the head. Still got the same kind of lightish hue of pink on his cheeks and forehead. Is a little bit lighter on this head. I kind of like that more. Nice paintwork on the teeth and the inside of the mouth. Same fading around the back. And to remove the stem, you just pull it back and pull it down. And there you go. And it just unplugs right there. Really good way to store the faces and keep them in the box since they are so smooth. So yeah. Here we have head C, which is pretty much just a repaint of head B. Just looking a little to the right for that iconic What 9000 look he gives Vegeta. But yeah, same great paintwork as head B. Still looks great. Still same way to remove the peg. Just pull it back. And there you go. And here we have head D, which is basically just head A with a scouter on it. And I like this a bit better. I do prefer Nappa with his scouter. So I do predominantly use this head. But yeah, still nice paintwork on the teeth and everything, on the eyes. Scouter's painted nice. Everything looks good here. In terms of his hands, he comes with 2 fists, 2 style pose hands, which again, they do also have that same kind of lightish pink shading on them. Looks really good. 2 karate chop hands, which again, still have that fading on the fingers a little bit. And then this hand for his explosive wave when he destroys the city. Again, still got that nice shading on it. And putting on his tail is very simple. Either tail is just fine. This one's a little bit more difficult, so I figured I'd show this one off. But you just got to wrap it around him, like so. And then take this ball joint and plug it in. And then this ball will plug in to the side of the tail right there. And it stays pretty well. It could be a little bit tighter, but nothing too bad. And then, of course, you can adjust this to your liking just a little bit. So if you don't want to show that gap there, you can push it down a little bit. And then installing his cross arms is just like with the other figures with cross arms. You just kind of want to get one side in and then bring it over to the other side and plug in that other shoulder. This one likes to fight me though. So there you go. And then plugging on his hands is your usual Figuarts fare, just simple ball joint. And of course, plugging on his head, also your usual Figuarts fare, just simple ball joint. And your faces is what we usually see with Vegeta. 2 ports on the back of the face. It plugs right on. And his scouter has a tab on the back, which does go right into the tab behind his ear. And there you have your Vegeta all ready to go. And swapping out the hands is still your usual Figuarts fare. We have a ball joint, and it just plugs right in. It looks really good. And plugging on the head again is just simply a ball joint. No, come on. Sometimes it wants to fight me. Alright, so since we've taken a look at all their accessories, we're going to take a look at the figures themselves now. So we'll take a quick look at Vegeta, and then we'll take a more detailed look at Nappa. So here we have the Prince of All Saiyans, and he looks pretty good. His neck looks a little long. It is a new neck. It's not the same neck piece that we saw with the Super Vegeta 2.0, which is fine. This is the second release of this body mold, which is why we do get that new neck joint. I'm not sure if this was reused for Majin Vegeta, because I do not have that figure. But the hair, again, looks really good. It's coming across as much darker black and on the camera than it is in person. It's definitely a little lighter than it is on camera. But nice shoulder pads here. Always like the shoulder pad look for Vegeta. Wish there was some black in these lines, but it doesn't bother me too much. This whole upper torso and lower abdomen piece are new as well as these skirt pieces here, also new, but the arms, the shoulders, the hands, the legs, and the back of the feet up until the toe is all new sculpt. My only real complaint about this guy is the shading that's on him. Yes, he does have shading, but it's just right there. It looks like he peed his pants. I do like the blue on this guy. I think this is my favorite blue that they've used for Vegeta. It is definitely a very rich blue, and I wish this is what we had gotten with the regular Vegeta 2.0. For comparison, just so you can see the different blue, here they are together. So yeah, I definitely like this deeper blue than this kind of pale blue that we got here. Now, of course, it's looking fine in my lighting, but in person, it's definitely a much paler blue. Almost kind of it has kind of a purplish hue in person, but I definitely do prefer this blue for Vegeta. It's definitely a bit closer to what we see in Super as well. And in terms of articulation, his head, of course, is on a ball joint, and let me remove his scouter, remove his face, and he does have a hinge right down there as well, so you can orient this and get your different points of tiltage for your head. Neck is also on a ball joint, definitely much more loose than what we saw with the Vegeta 2.0. Shoulder pads will move up to accommodate your shoulder movement. The shoulders will move outward that far. They are also on a butterfly joint, so they will go out a little bit. That's mostly to help you with the installation for the shoulder, for the lower arms, for the cross arms. I mean, I'm not doing very good words. But he does have bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. Do have a ball joint on the hand and a hinge so that you can change the axis of the movement. And his upper torso is also on a ball joint, but it does have multiple hinges in there so that you can extend it, get a little bit deeper range out of it. Without it extended, he will crunch forward that far and back a little bit. He will, with it increased, it will go forward just a little bit more and back a little bit more. Ball joint at the waist as well. His hips will kick forward that far, nothing new for this body mold, and back a little bit. If that's not enough for you, they will lean forward just a little bit so you can get, well, actually, this skirt piece hinders that, so you can't get that deeper bend by bending him at the waist like you can with the others. But nothing, it's not a big deal. Do have double joint knees. His feet are on a ball joint, actually double barbell. They will go up that far, down that far. He does have a toe joint, and do get a little bit of pivot out of those feet as well. And then here we have Nappa. Very cool. Nice little light pink shading throughout, like I mentioned before. Not my favorite color scheme for Nappa. This is his manga colors, which is odd for Tamashii to do that, especially when they're leaning more towards making the figures more accurate to the anime, because that's how most people interacted with these characters. So it's definitely strange for them to, in the middle of all that, give us manga colored Nappa. But it's fine. I actually was a little disappointed when I saw that his anime colors were not an event exclusive for this year, because I was completely on board with buying that exclusive if they were. I would have found a way to get one. Because I do prefer his anime colors with the blue and the yellow. I think it looks a little bit better than just the brown and black that we saw with Raditz. But not too bad here. I definitely do still enjoy this look for him as well. So, looking at him a little bit closer here, again, we get that nice light pink throughout his body, on his legs here, on his hands, we do get it there as well. But yeah, everything else is just kind of plain. I still wish he had some black lines in the armor, but not the big deal. Shadows provide those lines just fine. In terms of articulation, his head is on a double barbell, so it's not your usual setup for Figuarts. But you can get a nice bit of emoting out of the head. His neck is also on a ball joint, but it really only leans forward. Doesn't get a lot of pivot out of it. Not a lot back either. Definitely only forward for that neck joint. Shoulders will move out of the way to accommodate, the shoulder pads will move out of the way to accommodate the shoulders. The shoulders themselves are on a butterfly joint, but it's definitely a little stiff. You see it moving out there. And his shoulders themselves will go out that far. The butterfly joint is actually connected in the abdomen, in the front here, so that it will move out like that, because he just doesn't have a lot of outward on his regular shoulders. That's all you get with just the shoulder itself. That's as far out as you're going to get. So that butterfly definitely helps you get a bit more outward out of it. You have a dedicated bicep swivel, double joint elbows, which give you about 90. Your usual Figuarts wrist, so you can turn the wrist, change the axis of movement. It's a little bit harder to do because of the way it's sculpted, but it is doable. You do have a ball joint at your abdomen. He will go forward that far and back that far. Your waist is on a ball joint, which does help you a little bit with the ab motion. Not too much though. His hips are actually the older style of Figuarts hips, so they do pull down, which makes me think that this guy was originally in development a few years ago, because of just the hips themselves. They're not the newer style, but without them being pulled down, they will kick forward that far, back that far. With them being pulled down, you do get a little bit more motion out of them, a little bit more back, and of course you got a thigh swivel in there. You also get double jointed knees, bend in enough, and you get a double barbell on your ankle. Actually, it feels like just a hinge and swivel, so you do get a rotation edge, and it will go up that far, down that far. You do get a toe joint, and you do get a great pivot out of these ankles. And now for comparison, here they are with Whis and Beerus. Looking pretty good there. Of course, they would never interact at this point in time, but whatever. Here they are with their boss. Looking pretty good. Here they are with a Sand Raised on Earth Goku. Here they are with the Dragon Ball Super Broly, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and the Super Saiyan Vegeta 2.0. He still wants to fight me on standing. Yeah, looking really good, and again, that second head works great on both these two figures. and just because here they are with the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Deadpool and the Mafex Deadpool. And here we have them in their fighting poses for some final thoughts. I know I could have done better here, but I try to work quickly. But yeah, really cool figures. I do really enjoy both of them a lot. I'm very happy to have both of them in my collection. Nappa, again, I still wish he was in his anime colors. I think it would have looked a little bit better. Or if they had just gone with like the Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighters Z, however you prefer to say it. Those colors where he's got the black on the armor, but then he's got the yellow where the brown is here. I actually just saw a picture of that, and I think it looks really cool. But either way, they both look great, and I do highly recommend them both. Nappa is still available at Big Bad Toy Store. Vegeta actually just sold out this morning, but I'll still link both because Vegeta does kind of pop in and out. So maybe you'll be lucky and you'll be able to catch him one day while he's in. So I'll link both those in the description. So yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All that will be linked in the description below. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. Recently it's been every Monday, so do stay tuned for those videos coming soon. This has been the Dragon Ball Z, S.H.Figuarts, Vegeta, and Nappa. And I am AUTOCON360, and I'm saying, laters.